Well, the cross-check is really our attempt to visually portray many of the risks that buyers of enterprise technology face, and we've tried to break it down into a few basic components, and I think once you understand what those components are, this is a very simple and easy to use graphical chart, and one that you can use yourself. You can move things around and play along with this. Essentially what we're looking at is both the vendor and the product, and sort of separating those two things out. So first of all, on the chart there we've got sort of these little circles with the vendor names underneath them, and they represent sort of two things. One, the size of the vendor, so bigger the circle, bigger the vendor. So if you're a $1 billion company, you might have a big circle like that, and if you're a 50 million or less company, you have a little circle. Very simple. Now then, the shading there. So some of these vendors do nothing but focus on this particular product area. So for example, if we were looking at document management, for example, we took a company like Laserfiche, well, that's what Laserfiche does. That's all they do. So that would be a fully blocked, hard-colored circle. If on the other hand you're Microsoft or IBM, well, you do a lot of things. So, you know, that's just one small part of what you do. So even though you're a large vendor, this is just a small part of what you do. And what's important there is people really need to be aware of just how small or how large a part of some of these vendors' businesses the product is. The reason being, history tells us that large companies who have a small product have no problems dumping it, just like that. Yeah. Whereas a medium-sized vendor who does nothing but this, well, that's their livelihood. So, you know, buying big isn't always the right move. But as I said, we look at both the vendor and the product. So what we're really looking at here is speed of change. Where are they at? What's going on? So the product, for example, has it been unchanged for a long time? Is it you know, it's been the same as it is, and it's not really looking to be going through any major overhaul in the near future? So we would put that essentially in the bottom left-hand corner. That would be the positioning for that. So the product development is very slow, and likewise the vendor development. The vendor itself is pretty much the same when it was 5 or 10 years ago, and nothing much is going on. So that would get you into the bottom left of our cross-check. The extreme opposite of that would be that the product is going through a period of rapid change, overhaul, maybe a new major release is coming out and the whole platform's being rewritten. And likewise the vendor, something's been going on there. Maybe they've just acquired a very big company, or they themselves have just been acquired or are in the process of that. So that would put you into the top right, which would be sort of a turbulent sector. We do, though, encourage people to use those basic principles, and when they get our cross-check, take your experience of the vendors you've worked with and maybe other research and see where you would place them. It's an interesting exercise, and the key thing here is that just because a vendor's big, just because they've been around a while, doesn't necessarily mean you're taking on more or less risk. Likewise, there is no right or wrong place to be on the cross-check. Now, you might sound as if, well, you don't want to be in the bottom left. Trust me, a lot of our customers, particularly in areas like financial services, they want products which have been out for a while and not changing. They've been fully tested, and nor is that vendor changing. They are very conservative buyers. Those are the kind of products they look for. And yet others, they want cutting edge stuff. They want to be the first. They want to play with it. They think they have, you know, the insight of those vendors to be part of change and to build that product out to meet their needs. So it's up to you where your comfort point is, but I hope that the cross-check and the theory behind it is of use, and I invite you to use it and feedback any comments directly to us. Thanks very much.